The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 144. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Visit our blog at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a special lady on today. She is the founder of Dawning Soul, and she's here today to share her story in self-confidence. And, I'm just really glad to have her on. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Jennifer Gabiola. Jennifer, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hi, Sheena. I'm happy to be here. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share my story and my voice. I resonated with you because I feel like self-confidence is really the core. It's the foundation of you really making an impact on your life first, and then to impact others. If you don't have that strong sense of who you are and belief that your life is being used for something greater, it's going to be difficult for you to really make an impact on other people's lives, because people can feel your conviction. So I'm really passionate about that. So my business is called Dawning Soul, and I love helping introverted leaders own their quiet voice and fierce power to build brands that make a big impact. And how I do that is through soulful strategy and exquisite design, and also helping them with their presence and style, because I've found that, like I was mentioning earlier, when you really can embody who you are, you become magnetic. And I feel like as an introvert, I don't really like to talk a lot or even try to be the loudest person in the room. But I found that when I tune into my own energy and vibe, then my vibe speaks for itself. People can feel your energy. And that I feel like as introverts, that's such a strength to be able to be so in tune with yourself and feel out people and opportunities that feel aligned with you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, a lot of people think confidence means you have to be loud and boisterous, but you don't have to. You can still be an introvert and still have that confidence to carry. So, I really love that, you do help people who are a little bit more introverted be able to bring out their voice into the world. So thanks for sharing that. And Jennifer, what's your cultural background?
I'm Filipino, so I'm Asian. So it's interesting. I love how your podcast talks about confidence, and I just feel like in the Asian culture, it's just this message just needs to be shared about where genuine self-confidence comes from, because I feel like in our culture, so much of it is based on your performance, and it's a high level of performance. It's not just doing things okay. It's a high, consistent level of excellence, and that can wear on your soul and your spirit. So I feel like your platform is really a powerful way to help spread that message of just being easy on yourself and just giving yourself permission to do your best, whatever that looks like for you, and not try to prove your worth. Because I think that's where the burden comes in, when you feel like you're constantly performing to try to prove who you are, to prove your worth, prove that you're a good person or anything. Just the sense of proving yourself. I just feel like that's very detrimental to your overall growth and well-being.
Thanks for sharing that. And, it's true, right? Especially in Asian culture, so many people are people of influence, they're always telling us, you got to do this, you got to do that. If not, you're not considered the good daughter, the good wife, the good sister. And it's not just that too. It's also physical appearances, especially in the Philippines, right? It's if you're dark skinned, it's you're considered ugly, and it's...
I know! What is that about? I think that's just... honestly, I think that's universal. The darker your skin color, it's considered bad or dangerous or whatever. I'm what? Where did that come from? That's just really, really... so backward,
Yeah, totally. And especially in the Philippines, they have all these whitening creams, right? It's
yes! Oh my god, yes.
It's insane. It's really insane. I just believe everyone's beautiful, right? It doesn't matter what skin tone, whatever you look like, I believe every person's beautiful. So, I just really want to point that out, because especially in Filipino culture, that is really huge, right? And really, it can really hurt a person's, confidence, right? Because when they look in the mirror and they're like, oh, I'm dark skinned, maybe I'm not beautiful. But you are, right? It's
yes.
it's
Oh my God.
I like being tan, and my grandma's like, you look hideous. I'm like, no, I don't. Right? It's just someone's perception, and people have to realize these are just all people's perception. Like, if you look in the mirror and see how beautiful you are, then that's all that matters. So, thanks for sharing that.
Could I add just a little bit to what you said? Because it sparked a lot of inspiration for me.
Yeah, no problem.
I went to the Philippines maybe like over a decade ago. That was the first time I went back actually as an adult. Because I went there when I was 5. I don't really remember much. But going back as an adult, I felt like it was like I felt at home. But at the same time, it felt a little bit odd because when that was the first time I was really aware of all that, the whitening, the skin cream. I was just like billboards everywhere, like, and then they had like these spas. You just go and get your skin whitened, and I was just like, I didn't realize how prevalent it was in the Philippines. So I was like, whoa, this is really. It was disheartening to me because I feel like how you're born naturally is on purpose, So the idea of, okay, somehow how I'm born is not right, so I need to fix myself in order to look like what I see on TV. And when I found, like, when I was watching, like, TV in the Philippines, so many of the celebrities are gorgeous, but they also look very similar. There's, like, a standard of beauty that people are trying to attain, and I just don't feel like it's realistic. And in a way, for me, it also makes you lose the character and the beauty of your imperfection. Because then, to me, I love that when I see someone that's not too made up or they're just really comfortable in their own skin. That makes me feel like, okay, that to me is radiant. That to me shows a sign that that woman feels like she knows who she is, and that to me is what real beauty is. When you're comfortable and you're happy with what God gave you and how you look is not a mistake. It's not something you have to constantly, like you said, a mask. That's just really a really hard way to live. And I lived like that for a long time, just trying to perform and look perfect all the time. But I ended up like, I'll tell you later in the interview, but it was just really a hard road. And that's why I feel so passionate about helping, especially quiet leaders, like honor all the beauty that they have on the inside first. And then you will naturally embody that from the inside out.
No, I totally agree. I mean, this is why I created the podcast, right? To show people, there's so many things about you that's great. Step into that power and just live that life that you want. So,
yeah.
I'm Jennifer, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I actually came across a quote recently that I love. It's just so simple, but very profound. It's by Brene Brown. She says, "Don't shrink, don't puff up. Just stand your sacred ground." I feel like who you are is like so prolific and profound, like naturally, but it's about believing in that, believing that you are like this force because I really believe that we're all put on this planet to make a huge impact, but it's about believing in it. So I feel like looking at your life as sacred, and then like operating from that place, then you will feel that sense of power that doesn't come from outward validation, and then you can really make an impact on people's lives because they can feel when something is coming from something greater than you. When you are tapped into something, this force that's bigger than you, people resonate with that. They feel like, oh my gosh, I want what she has. It's like she's connected. And I feel like just the way social media is and just what you see on TV in general, it just feels very surface and very disconnected. And I just want to help like raise that consciousness, especially around beauty, because when you honor your inner beauty and your unique voice and power, I mean, that's the source of how you can really make an impact.
Thanks for sharing that, and I love that quote. And, I totally agree with what you said. And, in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Self-confidence is about honoring your life as sacred. I feel like when you know you are a part of something greater, that life is supporting you, that your life has purpose, that confidence comes from something bigger than you. Your life has a deep meaning, and that you showing up as yourself confidently is really an act of grace. It's an act of service for others.
I love it, and I totally believe that too. I believe, we're put on this earth for a reason, right? To be maybe a light out there for people, to raise consciousness, to be the change that we want to see in the world. So great definition. And, Jennifer, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Oh, this was a rough ride. Okay, so I had in my previous career, I was a design director. I did branding and design, helped build a company from the ground up. I was actually the first employee, and then it became a multi-million-dollar company. And so during that time, who I was before was very, I put so much of my self-worth in my work. I was a workaholic. I worked probably like 14, 16-hour days, very demanding. And I had a mask. I was a perfectionist, and I tried so hard to make sure that on the outside I looked perfect and I looked like I had my shit together. But inside, like, I would never admit this to people at the time, but I felt very empty and disconnected. But again, what I was trying to do was overcompensate and just make sure the outside was looking good so people wouldn't get too close to me to find out, like, oh, there's something not quite right, not connected. So during that time, I was there for like 12 years, but towards the end of my career, I lost my job, which was very devastating because, again, my self-worth was based on who I was, what I did, my career. So to lose my career, I felt like worthless, like I didn't have purpose. And then I was also diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, which is a debilitating autoimmune disorder. So, I had trouble walking. I had pain that would travel throughout my whole body. It really was my turning point of recognizing. I felt like such a victim at the time of my circumstance that I knew intuitively. My spirit was like, okay, you have two choices. Either you look at the circumstance like a victim and then probably become bitter and probably get more sick, or like ask for the grace and help, allow this situation to help transform you. And I took that road because, the other road just looked so dark. So I don't really recognize that person anymore because I've done so much inner work now, since then, to help me feel like I'm the creator of my life and not feeling like a victim. I feel so grateful now to just be in a different place.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, it's great that, you're able to use, something that's like the arthritis to help you realize, it's either I can go one way or I can go the other way. And, you chose a path where you can help people, right? Be that inspiration. While most people, when they go through something like that, it's like they feel like it's the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like they can't do anything else, which is crazy, right? Because, sometimes the universe or God or whoever you believe in just puts us challenges to help us realize how strong we can be, right?
Yes.
Like, we are so much stronger than we realize. And, sometimes we have to be blessed that these things happen to us because it shows how much character we have, how much perseverance, how much power we have. So, I'm really glad you're able to see that and be able to use it for something more positive and be able to go out there and inspire other people. So, after that realization, what's your life like now?
Well, I got goosebumps when you were talking because because I feel so grateful just to be in this place now where I just feel, I don't know, it's every day I just feel so in awe and grateful to be in this place because, that was really the darkest time of my life. So to know that I actually survived that, I feel like, oh, okay, I survived that. So whatever comes up now, I can handle it. Like, I feel like now that situation was really a hidden blessing. As dark as it was, as dark as it felt during the time, I feel like it was really a huge hidden blessing for me to remember my perseverance and ability to impact my own life. And then now that I'm being more brave and showing my vulnerabilities and just being really honest and kind to myself, that I can reflect that to people too. Because I found that now, because I'm more comfortable with myself and okay with sharing like what I went through, more people can resonate with me. More people are like, oh, okay, I can connect with her easily. Because before I would have some sort of like, I'd keep people at a distance because I was trying to maintain that mask, So now it's like, well, I have boundaries, but at the same time, it's like I don't really have things to hide, It's less pressure.
Awesome. And that, I think that's what we are missing in this world, just more of the authenticity, more of the vulnerability, showing people, we know where you've been, we've gone through that, and we were able to, overcome that and still live a great life. And, the more authentic we are, I believe that's when more people are drawn to you and want to work with you or want to do projects with you because they see that you're coming from this genuine place in your life, right? So, I'm really glad that you're able to do that as well. And Jennifer, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
On self-confidence, to know that how she is built is on purpose and that she is already whole. She doesn't have to use her life to overcompensate and prove her worth. Prove that she's beautiful. Prove that she is worthy of love, of success, of wealth, whatever, she's seeking. Like, just to be conscious about using her life to enjoy and create her life all along the way. That she is the conscious creator of her life. That's really what confidence is, because when you remember that your strength and your clarity comes from something greater, whatever you believe in, when you remember that you're a part of something bigger than you, then you know that you're moving with life. You know what I mean? It's not just you trying to prove like, hey guys, look at me. I'm trying to prove that I'm good enough. I know what that's like. But when you know you're actually, all of the stuff you've gone through is meant to help serve people. Sharing your testimony is meant to help inspire people. Then it's like, oh, okay, I see how my life is making sense in the bigger picture.
Awesome, great tip. And I love that, knowing that you're already built here on purpose. Because I think people forget that they're here for a reason. And sometimes they get lost in the way life happens. Society injects us with all this crap, and sometimes you have to block that out and realize you're here for a purpose. And sometimes you don't know what that purpose is, but if you go out there and look for it, it will appear right before your eyes. So we really love that tip that you mentioned. And Jennifer, if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yes, so my site is dawningsoul.com, DAWNINGSOUL.com. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. But basically, if you look, it's in Periscope, you can just use Dawning Soul as my handle. And I'm actually doing a challenge, a visibility challenge for introverts. It's called Quiet and Fierce, Truth or Dare 5-Day Visibility Challenge. So it's going to be a fun way to help other fellow introverts to feel confident, to put themselves out there in a way that just feels good. Because I feel like, as an introvert, you have to manage your energy. And your energy is everything. Honoring your quiet time is everything. So how do you manage your energy in a way that feels good? And the balance is, when you put yourself out there, it's just, it's important. I've learned that. Because I didn't realize I was introverted until a couple of years ago. And I realized, okay, it's my responsibility to honor my pace and energy and then operate from that place.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Jennifer, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Jennifer's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Jennifer for taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate your time and this opportunity to just really help your listeners remember that they're already beautiful and that they're already whole. So thank you, Sheena.
Not a problem. It was an honor to have you on. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about today, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more. Start your inner journey to self-confidence today.